Hi everyone, so I'm going to demonstrate a collage project today. So you have a couple parameters for this assignment. You're going to make a collage landscape, so a place. And you can use a reference photo or you can just do it from your imagination. And what you're going to do is you're going to use your mixed media pad, so this will be your background paper, which you're going to cover up with all your collage materials. And you can use a variety of colored paper. So I'm going to use the black paper from your kit. I'm just kind of using stuff I find in my studio. I have some gray paper. I have a magazine I'm going to tear up. But I also have sandpaper. I have different colored sandpaper, which has a nice texture to it. I have a bunch of different types of tapes, masking tapes. Now I'm using this like it's paper. I'm not using this to like hold stuff down, like I'm going to actually glue, but like this could just be another material that you collage with. I'm also going to use some burlap, which is like kind of like sometimes like rice comes in these bags. It's like a really rough kind of material. And I have some cardstock and I have some magazines. So I'm going to focus on creating a place. So a space. You want to have things that appear closer and you want to have things that appear far away. So what you want to start off by doing is by filling in this big blank space. So I already have some things pre-cut just to make this video a little quicker. So as you can see, I cut a piece of black paper and I'm using the straight edge and I'm just lining that right up against the edge of the paper. So already you're starting to kind of create a place. So this is my foreground. The foreground of the picture is closer to you and the background would be farther away. And then in the middle is the middle ground. Now we're going over all these things in class, so these things will be familiar to you by the time you do the assignment. But the other thing I want you to do is if you have magazines, I just get a bunch of free magazines, I'm not totally sure why. You're going to just look in the magazines for big areas of color. You're not going to cut out the words, you're not going to cut out the pictures, you're going to cut out like just the colors because it creates like a nice pattern. They have different patterns and colors, but also it creates a nice contrast between the construction papers that I'm using. Okay, so you can go through magazines, you could use newspaper, you could use, like free newspaper, photocopy stuff, old mail envelopes, anything to kind of create different texture. I have some burlap here. So in order to make things look further away, you want to think about putting them further up at the top of the page. To make things appear closer, you're going to put them down the bottom of the page. Also, another way to make things appear closer would be to make them bigger. So like bigger shapes appear closer. So even though this is up at the top of the page, because it's bigger, it's going to stand out more. So you're going to just use your scissors. You're not going to draw, and you're going to cut. So this could be my middle ground. It could be like a brown hill, or you're going to tear. So you have like different types of edges here, okay? And then this could be my sun eventually. Now I have some of this tape. Now this could be water. I could cut it into water. I could just have it be another texture, or I also have some light blue tape. So when you look at water, it's usually more than just one kind of blue. So I can tear the tape into small pieces to kind of make it start to look like it's reflecting light on the water. Now I'm just sticking this down, but like I said, I'm not using this like tape to hold the picture together. I'm using this as an actual collage material, okay? And then I went through the magazine pages and I found some blue paper. So like I cut the person out of it. So again, you're using the magazine paper, but you're not using necessarily the pictures. You're using like that background, because you see now I have all these different blues that create like a nice a range of like blues, if that would be like something like a lake. Okay, I can use these as trees. So just really thinking about all these different materials you can find around your house. You can find things like at the 99-cent store. I always love buying art materials at hardware stores and 99-cent stores. If you have like gift paper, like wrapping paper with different patterns on it, you could use that. So I can put another tree, but see now the edge of this tree would be different than the edge of that tree. Okay. So the last thing you're going to do is glue. That's the very last thing. You're not going to worry about gluing, because you might want to change this. You might not like it. You might just play around with it, and you might just not like it. Now I have another piece of yellow that I can stick up here. Okay, so you start to see it's starting to look a little bit like a place. And then because I have this art studio, I just have a ton of like painted paper, like old paintings that I never really developed, or just scrap paper. So that's why I have this paper with these textures. So I could put that up there. I have some zebra print duct tape, because I love using all kinds of different materials in my work. So I could put that down here, or if I wanted to put that up there. So you're creating a picture. So these are appearing closer, this is appearing further away, and you're kind of building it as you go. You see I haven't glued one piece yet. You're layering pieces on top. So the idea is you're going to continue using the same elements of art that you've been using. So you're going to use different size shapes. So you have small pieces, you have medium pieces, and then you have these large pieces here. You're going to use a variety of shapes, so some torn, some cut. You're using materials from things you find around the house, like sandpaper, your black construction paper that came with your kit. I have some burlap. And then you're also using magazine cutouts. If you have newspaper, if you have to-go magazines, to-go menus, things like that. And you want to just kind of play around. The objective here is to create an illusion of space. So you really want to think about how things go back into space. And like I said, we're going to go over this in class. And of course, if you have a photo of a place that you would like to reference, you of course can do that. I'm just kind of doing this from my imagination. So you start to have different avenues kind of coming around here. So the objective here is to have fun, explore texture, explore creating space, and of course I'll have plenty of references on the slideshow. And if you have any colored materials, like I have these colored tapes, of course you can use that. So I hope this is helpful, and I'll see you in class.